Hi guys, welcome again and thank you so much for watching my videos. I hope my videos are useful to you. You can learn many things from them. I can't say that they're new. If you search online, you will find tons of this kind of information. So I just wanted to show you how it can be done. So it is kind of a hands-on tutorial. So yeah, so today what I am going to show you that how you can set is set disclaimer for your server. Now due to uh, due to various audit purpose or various security related issues, organizations are forced to put a disclaimer in all of their outbound mails, so that they can avoid all the legal hassles. So now we are going to see how we can set disclaimer. So let me show you something. Okay, I have, okay, this is server is mail.sample server.xyz https and I have another server. Let me put that also, mail.latest server.xyz. Let me log in using, let's say, Sharif. So now I'm going to, and here the user is say Luca. I need to, okay, Luca at the rate latest server.xyz. Okay, I have logged into both the server. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to send a test mail, but without the disclaimer. Okay, so both of my accounts are ready to send mail. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to send a mail. From here I'm sending a mail to my like Gmail account. I will say lsa26112@gmail.com, and I am keeping a CC to Luca latest server dot xyz test without disclaimer test. I'm gonna do the same thing here also. I'm going to send mail to that Gmail address. Let's say 26112@gmail.com, and then I'm going to CC is Sharif sample server dot xyz subject test hash without disclaimer. Let me check. Yeah, okay. And the body is test. Yeah, the body is test. So let me send the mail. As the disclaimer is not set, so let me send here also. As you can see, Luca received the mail, though it is in junk because there are some issues related to the IP blacklisting and others. So you can see Luca received mail from Sharif from sample server, but it doesn't have any disclaimer. Also, Sharif, let me refresh this one. As I say, sent a sample server. Okay. Okay. And by the way, if I show you this, that sorry, if I show you this, that I have received mail from both Luca and Sharif, but without the disclaimer. So, okay, currently my server is sending mail without the disclaimer. Now I am going to set disclaimer. By the way, both of these two servers, like the mail.sampleserver.xyz and the mail.dataserver.xyz, both are hosted in the same server. So it is a multi-tenant environment. So let me show here to you. Zextras ZM proof -l error domain. As you can see, these two domains are configured here. If I want to see the details, as you can see, latest server has only one account, that is Luca, and sample server has few accounts. I'm currently using the Sharif as an example. So okay, though these two domains are hosted in the same server, I want to set the disclaimer in a way so this domain, whenever they send mail to either Gmail or to this domain, they should add the disclaimer on the bottom of the email, because it can be a scenario that you are operating an ISP or service provider. Being a service provider, we often host multiple domains in a single server and create a multi-tenant environment. So in that case, we may need to set different disclaimer for different domains. So that is what we are going to do. If we understand the concept for setting disclaimer for different domains, then we can set the disclaimer for the single domain also. So okay, let's do that. For that, I am going to minimize this window and okay, let me refresh. So to set the disclaimer, at first I need to enable the disclaimer feature in the server. For that, what I am going to do is Carbonio proof. By the way, the example that I am showing you right now can be used on Zimbra and Carbonio Community Edition also. So you can test it by yourself and do let me know how it went, and definitely do test in a test environment before enforcing into a production environment, because you need to restart some services after that. So okay, Carbonio proof. What I'm going to do is Zimbra domain mandatory mail signature enabled true. So what I did is Carbonio proof Zimbra domain mandatory mail signature enabled. I'm just ensuring all the strings are properly typed and there is no clerical or typo in this command line. Okay, let's execute this. Okay, there are some okay, there are some issues. By the way, what happened is I executed this command, but I missed the option. I am using the provisioning command, but to what I want to do, that modify the configuration. Carbonio proof, modify the configuration, Zimbra domain mandatory mail signature enabled. Okay. Okay. So this is the argument that I was missing. So okay. Now execute this. Okay. It has been executed. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the disclaimer. For that, again, Carbonio proof. Now the domain name sample server .xyz Zimbra Amavis domain disclaimer text. Sorry, this will be text. Then after within a double quote, I will use this is for official purpose of sample server.xyz. Okay, this is I'm just setting a test disclaimer. So I'm saying in the provisioning for this domain, again I have missed the argument. It will be modify domain Carbonio proof modify domain this domain, then set Zimbra Amavis domain disclaimer text. This is for official purpose of sample server.xyz, and I'm setting this. Okay, I set the disclaimer for sample server. Now I'm going to set disclaimer for latest server, but now I'm going to set it in a different way. So let's see this Carbonio proof modify domain latest server.xyz. Then I'm just going to copy this one. Now the difference is you can set disclaimer in a text format as well as HTML format. If you understand how to construct a HTML coding, then you can do fantastic type of disclaimer. There are also several disclaimer templates and disclaimer generator, HTML generator available online. You can use that to generate your disclaimer, but that is the case. So now I'm going to use HTML. In the previous occasion I used text, In this case, I am using HTML. Again, I am using the double quote, and here it will be like HTML format. For HTML, the title will be HTML, then the body, then body will be size h1, size will be this is a okay, this is a test, this disclaimer. Okay, so now I'm closing, it again. So now, pardon me if I am making any mistake, because I'm not very good at writing HTML coding. So yeah, once I tried to learn it, I was okay with it, but then I forgot due to lack of practice. So what I did is I started this is disclaimer. Okay, let's add something more here. Test disclaimer for latest server dot xyz, then close the h. Okay, this will be h1, closing h1, then the body, then the HTML. So let's execute it. So as you can see, I have set disclaimer for both the domains, for the sample server.xyz as well as the latest server.xyz. But when I configure disclaimer for sample server.xyz, I did it in a simple text format. But when I set the disclaimer for latest server.xyz, I set it using HTML format. So yeah, disclaimer is set. Now what I have to do is I have to configure this into the MTS server. So what I will do is opt Zextras live execute live exec zm mail, not the mail, it will be alter mime config e enable and the domain name. Now the domain name is sample server.xyz. Okay, it shows the disclaimer has been generated. And again I need to do it for the latest server.xyz. Okay, did it. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to restart the MV service, because the MV service is the responsible one who will be ensure that the disclaimers are added to the all outgoing mails. So zm fees ctl restart. By the way, let me tell you one of my experience. I was in an organization, I was trying to set the disclaimer. It was the earlier day in my career, so I tested the I tested the method. It worked in my test environment. But when I was trying to set it in the organization, I wasn't able to set it. I tried to troubleshoot in many way, but I couldn't do it. Finally, I found out that the MFV service was not working. It was stopped. And somehow I overlooked and I couldn't notice the status of the MFV service. If your server doesn't have the MFV service, or it is stopped, or it is disabled, then your disclaimer and the alternate configuration will not work properly. So now everything is done. Now we are going ready for the testing again. What we are going to do is we will go to the okay, we will open the, so now again I will send mail. I'll send mail to IMSI. Sorry. By the way, this is my email address. So if anyone wants to contact me, and just write me an email. It will be much more convenient for me to reply to your email, and I check my email more frequently than any other medium. So feel free to write me. And then Luca test with disclaimer, test #002. Let me copy this one, copy, and here also new email IMSI, and CC is Sharif, then subject with disclaimer, and in the body I am going to write test #00, let's say 3. So let me, yeah, okay, so send. It went from draft, so it is sent, then send from here, then it went draft. As I received a mail in my inbox, most probably it is from Sharif, that Sharif right now wrote an email to the Gmail account as well as Luca. Let's see. Luca received the mail with disclaimer, but as you can see, there is no disclaimer here. Okay, that is interesting. And let's see Sharif. Okay, so Lucas disclaimer is working properly, but Sharif's disclaimer didn't work. With disclaimer test 2, there is no disclaimer. Test disclaimer for latest server. Okay, let's check the Gmail account if it got the disclaimer or not. Yeah, you can see in the inbox, when Sharif sent, no disclaimer. When Lucas sent, says disclaimer. Okay, let's sort this out. Let me open this one. What I did for Sharif, sample server project says that Zimbra MFV's domain disclaimer text, everything was identical. Proof, modify configuration, Zimbra domain mandatory. Everything was enabled. Disclaimers for domain sample server.xyz. disclaimers for domain sample server.xyz. So there might be an issue because what happened is generating disclaimers for domain sample server, but enable written watermark enable. Okay, maybe when it generated disclaimer in this line, it make it blank. Text. So it's okay. So domain okay, let me just check one thing. Okay, so now if I execute this one, the sample server, that means the sample server enable disclaimer for domain sample server. That means this time latest server disclaimer will not work. Let's check that, so we will be able to understand. Okay, from Sharif, let's send this to Luca. We don't need to send to Gmail anymore. Luca test hash 005 test hash 005 send. So this time Sharif's mail should have the disclaimer. No, Sharif's mail is still. Oh, okay. I enabled it, but I have to restart the office. I have to restart the office. By the way, as you can see that I mostly try to um, create a real life scenario. I didn't scripted anything. I cannot say that entirely nothing is scripted. I just took the note of the commands, but I didn't checked it whether everything is perfect or not. I just following what is the basic, and then if any problem occurs, I'm just trying to troubleshoot. That's why my video goes long, and it's kind of a hands-on training. So that is what I like to do, uh, because in a system admin's world nothing is perfect. You can't do anything without getting any error. So let's face it, and keeping that in mind, I'm trying to create this video in a way so that we if we face any issue, we can troubleshoot it. Okay, so after restarting this, we should get the disclaimer for sample server, but latest server's disclaimer should be empty. Okay, let's wait. Let me open another duplicate tab here so that I can see some statistics here. So Zextras, them MRV's DCTL status running. Okay, it's running. So now Sharif's disclaimer should be working. Let's send another mail. Look, Loka test hash 007 test hash 007 send. Let's go to Lucas mail, refresh this one. Okay, test has 007, but still sample server is not generating any disclaimer. Let's email from here. Sharif, subject is test hash 008 test hash 008 send. You can see latest server still showing the disclaimer. Okay, okay, so let's do one more thing, that is, let's set the disclaimer in Sharif sample server in HTML format like this one, but this will be for MD sample server. Sample server, this is a test disclaimer, just this one, nothing more, nothing less. Disclaimer HTML. Okay, now the livex E. If I do this, it says enable domain specific disclaimer, domain specific disclaimer for domain, disable force set verbosity level, help disable enable force the rename bypassing safety checks. No, enable, we will enable it for both sample server.xyz and we will enable it for the latest server.xyz. Now let me run this one in domain. Okay. Okay. Now we are restarting. We are going to restart the MFS service. So hopefully this time both the domain sample server and the latest server disclaimer should be working properly. Let me see, this one is not running. It's not running. It's not running. Okay, it will take some time. Okay. Running. Let's do one thing meanwhile. Let's watch. Let's see if it works or not. Watch. It's not running. Okay. Let's wait a bit. Over here. Wait. So by the way, I found this watch command very useful because whenever I need to see the progress, I used to use this watch command so that it gives me an update for every 2 seconds. So yeah, it's starting. Okay, now it's running. Okay, so fine. Okay, now let's go here. First mail. Okay, let's send the mail to Luca test at 0011 test hash 0011. Send. In Luca, new mail to Sharif. Luca got a mail. We'll check that. Test hash 0012 test hash 0012. Send. So fingers crossed. Let's see if Sharif's mail has the disclaimer or not. Yes, it has the disclaimer. And yes, okay, no, we didn't receive that mail 12 yet. So yeah, and this is the disclaimer. So now you can see that both the disclaimers are working. So this is how you may need to troubleshoot things like that. So what can be the probable cause? The probable cause can be that earlier we tried to set disclaimer in a text format. Maybe now the text format is not supported. We have to use HTML format. You can try with the HTML format, and after the HTML setting the HTML format, we executed this command. This generated disclaimers for all the domains. Then we restarted the service. This is how it worked. So this is it, guys. Thank you so much for having the patience. So you may agree or not, my videos are most likely kind of troubleshooting as well as tutorial. So it's not basically completely a tutorial that everything is just, you just copy paste the command and everything works fine. We will find problem and as well as we will try to find the solution. So this is it, already 40 minutes, and yeah, I wish you all the best. Please do let me know if you have anything in your mind. I can create that. I will try to create that or recreate that scenario. So yeah, this is how you can set the disclaimer in your email system. Either it can be Zimbra or Carbonio Community Edition. And by the way, if you find these videos useful, please spread the information. Please like, share if possible, and please do subscribe, because I can see that many of our viewers, at least I can see that almost 85% of my viewers do not subscribe. So what happens is, like, creating these videos takes tolls both on mentally, physically, as well as I have to do some preparation. These are not very interesting video, I agree with that. Like in YouTube, you will find lots of interesting video, lots of theoretical video, lots of video on different topics. Those are very interesting. These are not interesting, but these are for particular type of people who works in this particular field. So this field is already very narrow, so I cannot expect, if an organization has 500 members, I cannot expect that okay, 500 members will like my video. Only maybe one or two members who are working and related with the IT and the system will can relate these things and like my video. So if you are watching this video, if you think this kind of video does some good for young administrators, so do whatever you think best for them or for me, but your support is the fuel that I use to keep going. So thank you so much, guys. Thank you for your support, and stay safe, stay blessed, and have a good day. Bye bye.